Senior economist for LendingTree gives us 5 things we should know about the housing market right now. Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Here is an article you're not going to want to miss. If you are in the housing market, you're trying to either buy a house or sell a house, or if you're in the rental market, here are some tips you're not going to want to miss. Now let's start with number 1. Sellers are losing power. Like I've said in previous videos, we have gone from a seller's market over to a buyer's market. Now, that doesn't mean that buyers are controlling all the shots. Remember, prices are still really high, so we don't have that many buyers in the market. But the days where, basically sellers could ask above asking price, they could waive, inspection and appraisal fees, well, those days are over, right? Now, buyers are demanding more, kind of getting back to that normal type of business when it comes to real estate. Again, in the last 2 years, it was crazy. That's not necessarily how the market usually works, but that's what happens when you had so few houses and so many buyers. Remember, with the mortgage rates being as low as they were, it just brought in so many different types of people with means. And because of coronavirus, everything was practically closed and nobody wanted to sell their house. So it created a very, small inventory, and it just made prices explode in basically every neighborhood. I remember going through it and I was saying like, wow, I can't believe my neighborhood is going up so much. And I thought, wow, who can afford to live here? Who would want to pay so much for, where I live? I love my place. I love my neighborhood. But when prices start going up that high, you got to question, like, why would someone, want to pay so much? And what do they do for a living that they could afford so much for a house, right? This happened across the entire United States. And now, with inflation being where it's at, we're seeing, the effects of that. Now, let's go to number 2. But buyers may still have affordability challenges. Yes, absolutely right. If we jump over to the Redfin weekly housing market data and we go to median sale price, we see that there is a decline in home price, which is coming down. But again, we are still so far from the 2019 levels. Prices jumped up so much that we're definitely gonna have to wait and really, this is gonna take about a year to 2 years to come down. So, but the prices are coming down, and definitely I would say that June was the peak. As you can see right here, we had, at the beginning of the year, prices just exploded, right? And then as rates kind of started going up, now we have serious fears about inflation and a looming recession, and now you're starting to see prices really come down. Okay, let's go back to the article. So again, buyers may still have affordability challenges, absolutely, especially with the rising in rates, neighborhoods becoming so expensive, and just jobs are just not there paying what these high prices for these neighborhoods are demanding, right? Things went up too fast. People's salaries didn't go up as fast. So that's a huge problem. Now we have the next one. Adjustable rate mortgages are coming back, but know the caveats before you dive in. Remember, adjustable rate mortgages are gonna get you in, at a great price the first few years, but boom, as soon as they change the rate on you, your mortgage could go up from like $2,000 to $3,000 overnight. And if there's any kind of hiccups in the economy, if there's any squeeze, if you're married and your spouse or you lose your job, then you could see situations where if that ARM adjustable rate mortgage goes up on you, then you could be in serious trouble. So be careful a lot getting these mortgages. They sound really attractive at the beginning, but they could really cause a lot of problems later down the road. Now we have the last one. You probably don't need to panic about a huge market housing decline. Let's read this paragraph in full. When home prices rise quickly as they have over the past 2.5 years, it's only natural for people to ask if the record price growth will turn into an equal spectacular decline. Home prices rose dramatically prior to the Great Recession, and they cratered. Though nobody can predict the future and say with 100% certainty that everything will be a-okay. The current data that we have do indicates that 2007 and 2008 style crash probably isn't in the cards. Even if the prices do come down in some areas, people are still in much better place to handle their mortgage payments as they were in 15 years ago, which means we're unlikely to see the same kind of defaulting action that we saw prior to the Great Recession. Bottom line, new and current owners should be careful that they're not biting off more than they can chew and they're keeping up with their payments. But they shouldn't be losing sleep over fears that they'll wake up tomorrow and find the entire housing market is in shambles. Okay, here's how I feel about this article, and I agree and I disagree in certain areas, right? The parts that I agree basically is that we are now into a buyer's market. We're no longer a seller's market, and you know, the issue that I'm seeing is that I do believe the houses are going to crash. I do believe they're going to crash below that 2019 level. And the reason being is because the economy has bigger problems than it had back in 2008. We have inflation, we printed a lot of money, and the whole world is in deep, deep trouble. Remember, we shut down for many months during coronavirus, and we're going to feel the effects on that for the next five to 10 years. In other countries, in Europe especially, they shut down even more. China shut down even longer shutdowns. It was crazy. They basically stopped all their production. And we're feeling the effects of that. I mean, there's economies that have, like Germany, for example, has super high inflation. Right now, China's going through a housing crisis. The UK is going through a housing crisis. So I think that the world as a whole is going through an economic crisis, and the US cannot shield itself from that. What can happen is if our GDP slows down, if we start seeing layoffs, it will trigger a 2008 type of housing crash where we could see a lot of houses hitting the market. Remember, people, you know, if you can't make that mortgage, eventually the bank takes that house, and the bank, you know, is not going to sit on the house. They're going to want to basically try to sell it for anything they can and to make some of their money back. And that's when you know, they start, you know, taking lower offers and lower offers, and the less buyers we have, the more that they could demand those prices going down. So that's kind of what the outlook is. You know, I do think that it's not going to be overnight. So I do agree with this article, but I do agree that the economy essentially will eventually shrink more and more, creating great buying opportunities. Now, hopefully it's not an overnight crash. I hope that it's not like that, but I do think it's going to be like bringing down the bull, you know. Basically, it's going to happen over the next few years. So when can you see great prices for yourself? You know, if you're looking to buy a house, I would say in the next 6 months, you're probably going to see amazing prices, but even better, probably in about a year to 2 years. Now, with that said, if you're a seller, unfortunately, your window is getting shorter and shorter. As you can see, this huge decline. You know, the people that sold in June are really getting the best deal, because look at this, you know, it's already gone down 25,000 off the top. So again, 25,000 is quite a bit of money for a lot of people. But if you were, here's the drawbacks. If you sell right now you're stuck in the rental market, which is incredibly hot right now. So you really got to know what you're doing. If you're selling now, have a, you know, have a plan of where you're going to go, because, you know, jumping right back into the housing market right now would probably not be the smartest idea. The best idea would be to sell and hold and buy a little bit later. But again, talk to your financial advisor for that. I make these videos for entertainment, and this is just my opinion. Now, I want to go ahead and finish this video. I hope you guys are having a great day today. I hope that this video helped make your day a little bit brighter. And I want to just appreciate all of you guys who have been watching my videos and supporting my channel, you know, liking, leaving comments. Thank you guys so much. If you're new to my channel and you like my videos, please don't forget to smash that subscribe button and go ahead and like and leave a comment. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.